Okay, so this is gonna make me sound like a piece of shit.
Okay.
But have you ever heard of the film called I Spit on Your Grave?
Hey, I'm Ed Pokropski, and this is Defend Yourself, the only show with hard hits and hard-hitting questions. And today I'm joined by comedian Raj Belani.
Hey, hey.
Do you have any fighting experience?
I got into one fight when I was younger. At the age of 7, I was challenged to a slap fight. He got a couple of slaps in. I started crying, and that was about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that kid's name?
Louis.
Louis.
I forget his last name because we were 7, but I hope he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember why he picked a fight with you?
I think it's just because I have a very slappable face.
Very slappable face, yeah. So if you could get anyone in the ring, if you could challenge anyone in the ring, who would it be and why?
Okay, so I'm not naming names.
Right.
But there's a comedian.
Oh, a comedian.
A very big comedian in New York City. I featured for him once a couple of months ago. Had the set of the night. It was better than his set.
Okay.
But then afterwards, instead of saying good job or hey, you were funny, he said you should quit comedy.
Wow.
Yeah. And at first I thought he was joking.
Right.
I was like, oh, comics, we bust balls. But then we stayed in the same house.
Right.
When we got to the house later, the whole night before he went to bed, you should give up comedy. It's
Wow.
really not your thing. You should quit comedy. It was very disappointing because I looked up to him.
You can tell us, was it Louis C.K.? Was it the same kid that was slapboxing you all those years ago?
It's Louis.
It's Louis C.K.
Damn it, you got me.
I knew it. He said strike 5, Louis. Well, are you ready for round 1? Maybe you can take a little bit out of it on me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't Asian.
Right.
Or Polish. Or whatever the hell you are.
Yeah. It's a hard combo to reach. If he was, then I'd be surprised. Obviously, we would know who that was.
There's more than one out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Round 1.
Let's do this. Jeez, okay. All right, let's go easy here for a second.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, you can push a little harder. Go for it. There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. There it is. Yeah. Snap it back. There you go.
Not a fan.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Sit on your feet. Sit on your feet. There you go. So that was round 1. How do you feel, Raj?
Whew, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you got like your first punch that you really like let go, you felt like you got a little bit more comfortable.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. And also because I know you would never hurt me.
Right, of course. That's what they all say. So what got you into comedy and how long have you been doing it?
Okay, so I've been doing comedy for about 5 years. I'm from Long Island, New York, but then I moved to Lancaster, Pennsylvania about 6 years ago, and I was losing my mind. So I needed to find an outlet, so I took some classes at the Philly Improv Theater for stand-up comedy, and then one thing led to the next, and that's why I do comedy.
And that's why you do comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And was it one of those things that you fell in love with it right away, or did it take a little time?
No, I didn't get a laugh until about 1 year in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and you stuck with it that whole time?
Yeah, weird. I quit very fast. I quit, I'm a big quitter. I don't know why.
Obviously, this is something you love if you stuck with it after,
Yeah, stuck with it for long. I got my first, it was weird. I got 0 laughs for like my first year. I went to open mics. I somehow managed to get booked on shows, even though I was horrible. But then one day something just fell into place, and like it was like literally a night and day transition. Like I went from bombing to having good sets overnight. It was, I guess, like little by little over time, I was taking subconscious notes.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you said you mainly cut your teeth in the Philly comedy scene, and then you started transitioning to New York.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest differences between the two? Do you feel like there is a difference, or what was it?
Yeah. It's personal, right? I mean, I don't ever think I really fit in with the Philly family. Great comedians out there in Philly, but I personally never really felt like I fit in. But for some reason here in New York, I just feel like I feel so welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a completely different atmosphere and feeling.
Was that something about your style or content, or just a general vibe that you came into Philly from Long Island? Was it something like that?
Yeah, maybe it was.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it was because I know I was literally at the time the only brown comic in Philadelphia.
That is not surprising. Yeah. So what's one of the hardest or weirdest rooms you've had to perform in?
Okay, so it wasn't a book showcase. It was an open mic at the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles. So basically, the Hollywood Improv, there's like 300 comics that come there, and they put their names in a bucket list.
Okay.
And they picked like 3 people to perform.
Just
out
3?
of 300. So it's a packed room.
Of all
full
comics.
of comedians.
Oh boy, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, who are trying to get on that stage.
Yeah.
After a showcase. So I was in LA for 24 hours, and I went there and I put my name in the bucket, and I got called. So now I'm performing in front of 300 comics who all hate me.
Right.
Because they go there every single week, and I'm there for one day, and I performed. I bombed, obviously. I think they were purposely holding back laughs because they were just so mad.
That they go there all the time.
Yeah, they go there all the time. I think one of the comics even came up to me, he's like, "Who the hell do you know?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, you gotta tell me who you know. I'm gonna throw you in front of traffic." I was like, Jesus. It was very intimidating.
Are you ready for round 2?
Yeah, let's do this.
Cool, let's do it.
Let's go easy. I've done nothing wrong to you.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Punch more there. That was good.
Okay.
So, round 2. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Again, you were throwing more punches that time.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. We're going to get into another territory here. So, you recently are going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I've heard you kind of talk a little bit about it on stage. And I had 3 questions I wanted to hit you with about that.
Go for it.
What's one thing about marriage that people didn't tell you or you didn't know going in? Something about marriage that you were sort of like...
Okay, so nobody told me that when you get married, not to move to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That is
not a part of the,
Yeah, nobody told me that. That's where everything got all fucked up. You know, we were happy, we fell in love, we loved each other, but then we moved to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it fucked everything up. Yes.
And for you, it was partially like there's just not a lot going on out there, right?
Yeah, there's nothing going on out there. You take a kid out of New York to move him to Lancaster. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I'm not Amish, clearly. So.
Right. So it was a tough adjustment.
It was a tough adjustment, and then we also kind of just we fell in love with different things, right? I fell in love with comedy. She has her hobby, and it kind of just drifted us apart.
So then now, what's something about divorce that you never expected, or something about divorce that no one ever told you?
No one told me that when you go through a divorce, it's one of the best weight loss plans in the world.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't even have to do anything. 20 pounds just fell right off of me.
Now, was that something, okay, so people talk about getting like a single body. Was it something you wanted to start working out more because you were coming single again? Or was it more of like an emotional thing? You just were eating less? Like, what was it for you?
Yeah, so it was a stress and emotional. I wasn't eating very much. Food didn't taste, it didn't have any taste at all. So I wasn't eating, and then, so yeah, that's how 20 pounds dropped off of me right there.
Right.
And then just to keep my mind off of things, I started going to the gym and running, and that kind of, I didn't do it with the intention of going out and meeting people, but it just so happened to work that way. So
a nice little byproduct.
Yeah, a nice little side effect. Yeah. So.
All right, so that leads me to the third question.
Yes.
And what's one thing, now you were with your wife for a long time and she was the only person you were with. So now that you're newly single, what's one thing about being single that no one told you or that's a surprise?
No one told me, or I guess I never really dated much before I met my wife. She was pretty much the first real relationship I ever had. But no one told me how aggressive these ladies are. Jesus, I'm a human being. It's once again, maybe it's just because I'm not in the right headspace yet, but I feel like everybody just wants to fuck.
You know, it sounds like you're doing a lot of humble bragging right now.
No.
Like, I lost 20 pounds, everyone wants to fuck me. People are going to be like, oh, I guess it's so easy, you know?
No.
So what's one of your favorite movie quotes or movie characters?
Okay, so this is going to make me sound like a piece of shit. Okay. But have you ever heard of the film called I Spit on Your Grave?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a very It's a very raw movie.
Okay.
It's very raw. But there was one line in the movie which I just say over and over again. It has nothing to do with the movie. So there's a scene where there's like this old bum in the forest, and he sees somebody drinking whiskey, and he pulls up the bottle. He's like, "Ooh, that's fancy." That's it.
That's it.
I
That's
say that all the
fancy.
time. That's fancy. If I see something cool, I'm like, "Ooh, that's fancy."
So you just like the way that sounded, and now you use it.
Yes.
So yeah,
yes.
but no one would probably think to know what that is from.
Correct.
It's
But
very
see,
obscure.
like I feel like they should know. So
Okay.
whenever they laugh, I'm like, "Oh, you
know.
saw I spit on your grave too?" And then they're like, "No, Jesus."
And they're like, I thought you were funny
I
and
thought
cool.
you
Now
were
I think you're a sicko. Yeah. Just keep it at the phrase that you made it up.
I
Maybe.
made it up. That's
your-
fancy.
That's your new catchphrase on stage.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Give it up for our host, Ed. He's fancy.
He's fancy. All right, so are you ready for round 3?
Are we rubber matching?
We're rubber matching, and you're going to be the tomato can. Yeah. All right, here we go. Round 3.
Let's do this.
Go. Final round.
Okay. So fancy. That's fancy. All right. Okay.
Okay, that was the final round. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah. You look
Yeah,
like you have
you-
a glow about you.
Yes, you worked me out on that last one.
So I want to make sure you're out of breath for that last one. When you've had situations in the past where you've lost a room, what have you learned along the way to help bring a room back? Have you brought a room back, and if you have, how did you do that?
So initially when I used to bomb, I used to lock up. Like if I don't get a laugh where I'm waiting for a laugh, I lock up and I start sweating and everybody knows I'm bombing.
Yeah.
And it just, sometimes I've even walked off stage because I just didn't know what to do.
Oh, you just bailed. Okay, got it.
Right, but because more reps, more time, I think if you just sit there, let it sink in, take your time on stage, even if it's like 10, 20, 30 seconds, just take it in, let it sit there, you'll come up with something. And then you'll be able to dig. But that just being able to stand on stage for 20 or 30 seconds of pure silence is the hardest thing to do. But if you can do that, then you could pretty much figure yourself out of any bomb. Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty good.
Dig yourself out of any hole.
I feel like it's a good tip in life in general. It's hard to sit in silence.
just soak it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the bomb when it happens.
Bask in it.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it. So give me your final impressions of this whole experience. What'd you think?
Oh, this was fun. This was super fun. I know I am extremely uncoordinated and was the worst boxer you've ever boxed.
Definitely not. I think you're harder on yourself than you're allowed. Yeah.
I feel like you're just too nice.
No.
Okay. It's, yeah, hey, there it
No,
is.
you were good, and I think you built up to it, and you found your space in the end. That's good.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah.
But this was a beautiful experience. I had so much fun being part of it.
Is there anything you want to plug at the end here? You can do in this camera here. Any place people can find you doing comedy?
Yeah, so I run a monthly show at Lucky Jack's on the Lower East Side. It's called Holy Hand Grenade. It's a monthly show. We have some of the best comics in New York City on it. Humble brag. But yeah,
There you go. Yeah. Guys, everyone, comedian Raj Belani.
Hey, hey.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.